How do you do, my fellow hashtag legend gang? Have you been grinding? Did you get to legend? Have you gotten your nice blaster blades, whether it's one or the four? Today, we're going to be going back to the Japanese server once again. We're going to be doing this for a couple more videos and taking a look at Angel Feather. But before that, I want to really take at least a little bit of time to thank you guys for this insane milestone, which was 30,000 subscribers. Like, to me, I already mentioned this on my social medias, but 30,000 was not something that I thought anyone in our community would be able to achieve in the coming couple years, and especially not me. You know, I really didn't think I would be able to get it until 2021 or something, at the very least. But to be able to get it, you know, still in the first half of 2020 is insane. This growth lately has been great. You know, I have to thank both, you know, and Shady and just Zero's release and everything. But also, you know, I'm really glad that when the game came out in Japanese, that I decided to just make content about it and kind of be on the train of Zero Japanese since day one, because I feel like that informed my opinion and what I can tell people about it too. So I'm really glad that I decided to do that, you know, in retrospect. Now, going forward, however, of course, this is not the 30k special or anything like that. This is just a regular video, but as I mentioned in my social medias, I do have a lot of stuff planned. We will be doing some special things. We're going to be doing some challenges as well to celebrate, so there'll be like small videos along the way, and then a big announcement that I have planned that I should be announcing in the next, you know, week or two, hopefully. And so that's going to be really, really exciting because there's a lot of stuff to look at and take it, you know, just break down. And I think it's going to be really, really exciting, you know, to announce that to you guys, and I think a lot of you will be quite excited about it too. So look forward to that. I can't say too much about it just yet, but I will start previewing things throughout time. But today we're going to be taking a look at Angels, and I already tried to record this once last night, and I was way too tired, and you could really tell that from my tone. So I was like, no, this is bad. I cannot have a video where I just sound half asleep, you know, especially celebrating such a big milestone. So we're gonna reattempt it basically and take a look at Angels once again. So let's explain the deck. So the reason why I put Shamsiel Kiriel in the title of the video is because I think both of the grade 3s kind of work together to deliver this win con. My background in Angel Feather, basically I didn't like the clan much until G era when Gabriel released. And actually, if you look at my little pin board here over there, you can't really see it, but there's a lot of Gabriel merch over there. But I really like Gabriel, and so G got me into Angel Feather basically. And so then I was like, well, it's not one of my favorite clans, I keep playing it all the time. But then I wanted to kind of revisit, you know, in retrospect, some of the older support the clan had back in the Limit Break era. And so this is literally that. So the first grade 3 boss is the Shamsiel, or Shamsiel as she is in Japanese. So she has Limit Break, which is when she attacks, you take a card from your hand, put it into your damage zone, and then choose a card from your damage zone and put it into your hand. So a simple damage swap, but of course it's nice because you can put a card face up from your hand and then take a card face down, so you're effectively countercharging, which is also pretty good. And then her second skill coincides with that, which is when your card is put into your damage zone, she gets plus 2k power for that turn. So basically this does stack, so every time you put a card into your damage zone, this will add another extra 2000. Also means that when you take damage, she gets an extra 2000 as well. So basically after the first attack, she will be on MLB numbers defensively, which is pretty nice. So she is, like, you ride her if you're on low damage, but you also ride her if you don't want to push as hard and you want to like kind of play out the long game, which this deck does want to do. It's kind of like the plan. But then otherwise, your other main ride target is the Kiriel. And Kiriel, this actually was the first triple rare I ever pulled, because I played the game since 2011, as I mentioned, but the first time I found a local card shop in my country was in like May or something, or April or May of 2012. So basically, that was right after the release of Breaker of Limits, and so, you know, I opened like 6 packs and had her in there, and I was really thrilled. But so that's my little backstory with this card. So I always wanted to play her, so I'm glad I can play her in Zero. So her skill is Limerick 4, when she attacks the Vanguard, she gets plus 5k power, so just a 15k attacker, but that can be good to push against, you know, after your opponent has taken some damage. And then Vanguard skill, on place, you may counterblast 2 and choose a card from your damage zone and call it, and then put the top card of your deck into your damage zone. And then if you called a face down damage, then you have to put the top card face down instead of face up. So basically it doesn't refund the counterblast, but it's still pretty good because this card is really good when you want to be a bit aggressive. You know, you want to like ride her, call out an attacker like a grade 2 Pegasus or something, and then it just like, you know, go aggressive that turn. When your opponent's on 5, you often want to ride her because then you can get an extra attacker because they probably took out your intercepts last turn and things like that. Because, you know, this deck does kind of need those extra resources. And this is one of the very few cards that actually gives you a direct +1, like a direct advantage card. So then, other grade 3s we run are the Shamsiel. So her skill is, when her attack hits a Vanguard, you may counterblast 1 and put her into your damage zone. And then you choose a card from your damage zone that is not Shamsiel and call it. And then it says if you chose a face down card, then she has to go into the damage zone face down. So again, doesn't give you the refund on the counterblast, but it's still a good card because basically, especially if you go first, you get to like swing at your opponent's Vanguard unboosted, and then you can call something out, and then that other thing can be boosted for the second attack. So it's pretty good for that reason. Of course, you do need to take out intercepts first, but she's really good for extending and for just making big attacks and big nice combos. But of course, it does depend on hitting. So if you're wanting like a crossfire with 13k power or just an 11k Vanguard, you will have to boost her in order to hit because we don't have any front row global power boost, because if Shamsiel had it, that would be basically Gabriel. So the last grade 3 is the Calamity Flame. So this card is very simple. We have got a lot of effects like this, which is just when a card is put into your damage zone, she gets +2k. So Vanguard and Rearguard Circle, of course, does stack. Other cards that have that skill are Million Ray Pegasus, so on grade 2, as well as 1000 Ray Pegasus on grade 1. So these are also on Vanguard Circle, so if you ride them and your opponent wants to rush you, you're basically going to gain power on their turn, so basically they won't be able to rush you as easily, so they have to commit a lot of cards to board. So it's pretty good for that reason, so I like to ride those cards quite a lot. Then 10k Vanillas, once again another good base ride for, like, so that your opponent has to commit boosters to actually hit you. And then of course 2 armor rolls, because we only have space for 2. Her skill is when her attack hits a Vanguard, or no, when her attack hits anything, sorry, you may counterblast 2 to draw a card. This works quite well because you can counterblast 2 and draw from her skill, and then when Shamsiel attacks, you can put a new card into your damage zone, and then it can be the one that you drew too, and then you take one of your face down ones that you counterblasted for the armor rolls into your hand. So you basically refund the counterblast for her skill. So it's pretty good. Extra draw. Again, this is the other card that gives us plus advantage in our deck. Then we have the no-CLs, so grade 2 and grade 1 no-CL. They have the same skill, Rearguard Circle. When placed, you may choose a card from your damage zone, put it into your hand. Choose a card from your hand, put it into your damage zone, and then put a card from your damage zone into your hand. So once again, basically refunding counterblast. The good thing of doing this skill, of course, is that if your perfect cards go to your damage zone, you can fetch them, and then, you know, if you have any other important pieces, like other, you know, grade 2s you want to call out, grade 3s you want to ride next turn, anything like that, you can basically just go for no CL and fetch them. So it's really, really good for that reason, but of course they are a limited resource, so you need to be careful how you call them. And then I only have 3, so if you have 4, you can play a 4th one, maybe cut one of the 10Ks, but I only have 3, but I think 3 is perfectly fine too. Then AK Vanilla to make nice numbers, you know, together with all of our power gainers here, like the Calamity Flame and the Pegasi and things like that. And then the grade 1 no-CL, those of you that play the real card game will know that this is a Guardian Circle effect normally, so when you guard with it, you can swap the damage, which is much better. But because there's no Guardian Circle in this game, instead this is a Rearguard Circle effect, which is the same as the grade 2 one. So when placed, swap a card in hand and damage. And then finally, our starter is the Sunny Smile Angel. Just have that 1 extra heal in deck. I did test out with the one that swaps damage quite a lot, but then I realized like the more no-CLs I had, the more redundant it became for now. So it'll be better in the future, but for now it's pretty okay to run without it. And then I run 5 draw, 4 stand. Stands are good in this deck because it's kind of like Ainsley. You need a different kind of trigger other than draw to be able to deal more than 3 damage. I mean, more than 1 damage if your opponent sets up 2 intercepts per turn. So that way you can, like, you know, attack with unboosted front rows and then restand them and then attack again to the Vanguard with the stand. So I would even try out 5 stand, 4 draw, but I think for now I'm going to run with more draw. So that's the deck. Now let's take a look at it in game. This deck does take longer to play out. It's not as fast as Ainsley, so if it takes long, we're going to do 1 game. If it's a short one, we'll do 2 games. So that's kind of the way I feel it out these days. So we're playing as Narukami, and this is Kamu Kamu Finance. Kamu Kamu Finance. Okay, so this is our opponent on Narukami. So we open up a bunch of ponies. It's pretty good. I will keep them. People ask me, you know, to walk through my mulligan, but in that sense, it was really easy to mulligan there because I was like, okay, I have my desired grade 1s and 2s. I don't have a grade 3, so I want to put back all the other cards because, you know, I need to essentially get myself a grade 3, and I still don't have one, but I have double PG, so At least the good thing now is like if we draw into a no seal or something, and we take a a damage grade 3, then we're pretty okay. So there we go. We have this grade 3, but hopefully we can check a different kind of damage. So here, normally against Narukami, as you guys know, I typically don't give them the first damage because I'm afraid of my starter to get killed. But because this starter goes back to deck, we can actually safely go for that first attack and deal the first damage. And we get a draw as well, which is definitely quite nice. Into our third perfect guard. That's arguably too many for this stage of the game, so I definitely don't want to see that many for now. I might even put one into the damage zone and then grab it later. That's one other thing that Angels can do, It's like, you can put a card into your damage zone and then just pick it up later, It's like, if you don't need a perfect guard now, just grab it later. So it's pretty good for that reason, but we're hoping to either draw or damage check one of our Shamsiels or Kiriels. That'd be pretty good. Kiriel, hopefully, because that is a draw, but I do have 8 cards in hand now, so that means that if I get a draw, I'm going to be overdrawing. But let's see. Okay, there's the grade 2 10k. And then it's going to be a 14k attack from this Desert Gunner, and no trigger, so let's see if we hit one. Hopefully a grade 3 would be nice to see. Okay, so grade 2 no seal, that's not bad either. So, what we're going to do here... Okay, another grade 2 no seal. I'm going to ride the grade 2 pony because I want to gain some power if he does want to rush me. I don't actually need to swap anything technically. So I'm going to just go for a slow little game like this. Start off slow. This deck really does not need to rush too much. Of course, I'm risking overdrawing once again, but we don't run that many draws, so it should be okay. There's a grade 1 no seal. So that's going to be just 1 damage. So slowly, just pacing out. Our opponent gets double draw on defensives, which is pretty strong, not going to lie. But we're going to see what he's going to go into. Most likely the Vermilion, if he does have it. Because, I mean, just the 11k base already prevents him from being rushed down. But Dungri also has 11k base, so it can be both. Ooh, but he goes for the Goku clone instead. Which means that if I draw into the heal, I can actually kind of do something about that. So of course he's going to seal our intercept, that's what the deck does. And let's see. So he won't be able to retire anything with that grade 3 though, which is interesting. And he gets a nothing as well as a nothing. So now, if I... Yeah, my defensive power will not increase to the point. It's only going to be 16, so it doesn't get over that 17 on his rear guard. But, and now it's a bit unfortunate because I have Limit Break, but I don't have a Limit Break grade 3, so it's a bit unfortunate here. But we draw into the Kiriel, very good, very good. And I'm not overdrawing either, so that's quite nice. So now I'm, of course, going to go into the Kiriel. There's no thinking, no choice but to do that. So, into the Kiriel. See her nostalgic animation as well. And then use her skill to Kanamas 2 and call something out. And now I'm debating, what do I want to do here? I might want to call the no CL because I have boosters in hand. I think I will call out the no CL here and do a bit of swapping. Let's take a look. I don't need the Calamity Flame right now. I might call this out later with some combo. I think I'll grab the pony here. Like I said, I don't need the 4th perfect card in hand. I can grab that later. We keep the grade 1 no seal and the grade 2 no seal in hand for that reason. I think I can kind of keep it as it is. I'm just thinking, actually, if I want to place another grade 1, because you can't pop my grade 1s at least. Let's see. I guess I can do this like this. That's 22. Kind of my thought process here. I guess I could have called also grade 1 behind here, because then if this restands, at least it hits for nice numbers, if anything. So let's see. Does he get a defensive? Oh, the 3rd draw trigger. That is definitely quite strong. So this will be 22, so it gets over. I'm glad I called that grade 1. We do get the stand. I would need a double stand here for this column to hit something. The heal is good, but I really do wish I called a grade 1 behind the 10k here, because this would have been, a 6k untouched. So basically, maybe if I just called the peg, I guess he got a heal there, so it doesn't actually matter that much. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, I mean, at least this way it doesn't have limit break. Oh, he even calls out his Dungaree. Wow. Okay. But this means like he has to call down like a Death Scythe or something to actually take out my rear. But this game does seem to be taking quite a while. Yep, there's a Death Scythe. I guess he's going to take out one of my rears here. Yes, he is. So there goes a 10k vanilla. And there's no real reason for him to call anything else, I think. The danger is that if he checks triggers, of course my ponies will die. But he's seen 6 triggers already, takes a self-damager. So he did actually have a way to get Limber Break, but he didn't choose to go for the Dungaree, interestingly. I wonder why he did that. It's an interesting choice. Quite an interesting choice. Alright, now it's the question. He can actually take out one of my grade 1s with his starter too. So that's going to use up his last counterblast. And will he... Okay, we get the draw, which denies the last attack, which is pretty good. And then I think he's going to take out one of my ponies, maybe the one behind Vanguard. But we'll see. Oh, nope, it's the rearguard one, which I think is the right choice, actually. Because, you know, the Vanguard one can chill there for as long as it wants to. And now one of his draws went back to deck. Very lucky. Very good for him. Alright, we can't write anything, so we're just going to skip that. Let's call down the pony. I'm just thinking if I want to use one of my no-seals right here. Not sure if it's necessary, because I would grab the Kiriel for next turn to go for a more aggressive play. I think it's worth it, actually. Maybe I'll call the grade 1 no-seal here. Yeah, I'll call the grade 1 no-seal. And I'm going to put the grade 2 away, and then grab it with the Kiriel next turn. I think that's the right play. And this way we get... I should have called the pony first before that. That's a misplay. What a big misplay. Unfortunate. Okay, whatever. So we still have 3 stands left. So that's pretty good. We can go like this now. And basically, as you'll see, I'm basically going to set up for like a potential double stand play. But I really should have been more careful with my calls there, but it's okay. Alright, do we get any stands here? That would definitely help us a lot. Armoros, followed by a no-seal, so no stands, but that's okay. We're going to put him to 5 damage. Never mind, he's going to be at 4. If he has Vermilion, he can ride it to wipe out my front row. But then I'm still pretty okay because if he crits... Like, I can perfect guard this turn to survive. And the next turn, ride the Kiriel to basically grab the no-seal and just extend. But he doesn't have... Oh, he doesn't go for the Dungaree. Very interesting, considering that, you know... He could potentially end the game there, you know, going for the Dungaree, binding my front row, and then he needs just one more attack against that pony, and then he has 2 attacks to Vanguard to end the game, whereas now he's basically relying on a crit to end this game, which I don't think he runs. He gets a draw, meaning one of my grade 1s will retire. It's quite unfortunate. We'll see which one it is. I just hope not for double. As long as it's not 2 triggers, that's okay. Because then it's going to be a bit hard to make up this board. The no-seal, okay, I absolutely am fine with that. She already served her role, and he doesn't get a second trigger, so that's okay. We're going to go to 5, and that's, the defensive stand. That's the worst part of playing stands, is when they come up defensively. That is always the saddest part, but that's okay. Okay, we draw the grade 1 pony. That's pretty good, so we're going to rewrite the Kiriel here, and use her wonderful skill to counterblast 2. And call this grade 2 no-seal. I'm just thinking what else I want to call out of this. This is a 16k column, I do like it. Ooh, that's pretty good too. Oh, that's very good, actually. Actually, that's really, really good. Hold on, we can do some cool things here. So we can take out her. Let's grab the Ermiel. And so our power-ups pop off, and we get this. So now what we can do is, haha, 10k base. I'll take it, man. Alright, he goes up to 15. We can use this skill to counterblast 1, put this into the damage zone, and then call out the Feather Palace here. Not the Feather Palace, sorry, that hasn't come out yet. The Calamity Flame, sorry. And have some nice numbers. Look at this. We're basically telling him, okay, you got 3 perfect guards, you can survive. You don't? Okay, I'm gonna win it. So this is the power of the multi-attacking in this deck, and it's really, really good. I like it a lot. Alright, second perfect guard. If we check a stand, we'll absolutely win. It's a 1 out of 7 chance, which isn't very high, but we have to believe in it. We get a heal, that's also good, that's also good. I'm still gonna bet on the fact that we can check a stand, maybe? We don't. Does he have a third perfect guard? He does not. Will that be game, though? He did have some heals left still, so there's a chance that he will check one. He does not, and that's going to be game. So, wow. Good game overall. Kind of shows you how you can, like, you really have to plan ahead, as I said. You know, like choosing to grab that Kiriel there the turn before I actually needed it, you know, thinking ahead, what is my play going to be for, you know, well into the future, you know, developing your damage zone with that in mind and knowing when to take some challenges and some chances to actually do that. So I guess we can go for another game that was actually fairly quick, and then we're going to be able to well, win or lose, show some other sides of the deck, because this game we exclusively used Kiriel, didn't really get to show the wonders of Shamsiel herself. But let's see, we're going to be facing Gold Paladin, and looks like this is somebody that wants to, he's looking for people that like, I think this is Keyakizaka 46, so he's looking for friends that like Keyakizaka, or is it Nogizaka? I think it's Keyakizaka, one of those. For those of you that don't know, those are the Japanese idol groups, so some of them do make some nice music though. Alright, we're waiting for our opponent to load up. Alright, looks like we're in. Oh, and perfect, we get Shamsiel to start. So here, of course, I want to keep my starting, you know, 3 grades. And I'm putting these 2 back because I mean, heals this, when I get it, I'll get it. If I damage check it or something, I'll grab it. This goes for the same, basically. Oh, this is pretty good. It would be nice to have another grade 1 that is not the perfect guard. We do have 2 shots to draw into it. And looks like our opponent opens Spring Breeze, so this will be the better Azel variant, you know, not the Criff one. But yeah, so go Rise into the Dindrain, the hard worker of the clan. Very cool. Alright, gonna end phase, and we get a Kiriel, so I have to still ride this grade 1 perfect guard, sadly. But that's okay. I think I might hold on to the heal then, don't have to put it back to deck just yet. Just gonna attack like this for now, so that I can actually control when I put the trigger back into my deck and don't have to potentially waste it on the first damage check, so I think it's quite good for that reason. Alright, we have the pony to ride next turn. He goes into the trip himself, meaning he can use Spring Breeze into trip, which is pretty strong. Alright, so that's the smart call of the Gareth there as well, because now he can use Spring Breeze to basically call out anything that will be able to hit for second attack. And so he's going to look top 3, call 1, and then the trip will refund that counter blast. That's a really good synergetic play. And he calls another Gareth. Okay, that's fine itself. That's fine in itself. So we're going to take a second damage here. Of course, if I had, like, even if I had the grade 1 pony, it wouldn't have made a big difference, actually. So, grade 1 no CL goes to the damage zone. What is good here is we have this, which I will put on rearguard circle. Just have to think how I want to call this out. I can actually slap rearguard here to kind of take away some of his tempo. But then alternatively, I can call this in case I flip a stand, because this is only 12k, so it won't hit otherwise. So I will go at the rear here, in case I heal, of course, as well. You know, there is a chance that I can heal off of this. There's a grade 1 pony there, or I can check a stand and get an extra attack. So whichever one it is, I'll be pretty happy. It's neither. That's okay too. Alright, so he takes a second damage, and then our heal will go back to deck now. We draw a no-CL, that's quite good. So for when I go into the Shamsiel, that'll be pretty nice. What are my call targets right now? Pretty good call targets if I want to go for the Kiriel too. Rise into the Pelennor there. Ooh, SP Pelennor, first time I see that, wow. Oh, the SPs in this set are so pretty. It's crazy how pretty they are. His attack pattern makes me think he does play stance. I don't have to think if he plays stance, he does play stance. Okay, he goes down to 1 damage. That hurts a little bit. Does he check a stand? Oh, nope. Double heal, which is good because he whiffs one of them. I'd rather see that now than later. He only has 3 cards in hand, meaning that he doesn't have the massive plussing from his Azel. So we're not going to go for the Kiriel, of course. Going to go into the Shamsiel here. You can see her animation. It does not look as pretty as Kiriel's, in my opinion, or she doesn't look as pretty as Kiriel, for that matter. I really can't wait for Metatron. That's when angels start looking even better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we need to be a bit careful with how we call things. I do need a booster behind Vanguard because this is a 11k. And we're going to call this out here. And the no-CL here. And then basically we're going to put this other Shamsiel into the damage zone and grab ourselves the grade 1 no-CL. Now I don't think I need to do anything else here. I think I'm good as I am. Again, what I could do is call this no-CL, because if I check a stand here, which is pretty unlikely, I can at least restand this column for a full swing because then I can go rear, Van. Ah no, actually it won't. It's really luck based. I would need a lot of triggers for that to happen, so I don't think it's worth it. I think it's not really worth it. Because basically my opponent's gonna be at 21k already, so I need to really get lucky on that front. So we get a draw. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Oh, we drew into our heel. Okay, don't get anything, but we're gonna put him to 3 damage, so he needs a self-damager to actually activate Limit Break, and this Limit Break doesn't actually plus him, he just gets extra power in his columns. And then we drew the heel, which is good in one way, in that we can put it back on the field next turn. Ooh, he has a self-damager, and a stand goes to the damage, which is pretty good for me right now. And okay, we're gonna see him probably commit quite a few cards from his hand, simply to activate this Limit Break. Or not. How interesting. That's a really interesting maneuver, because here, like, he's not giving me Limit Break, but then he's also wasting his own in a way. Like, he didn't activate it there, see? So I don't know what he was trying to get out of that. You know, I feel like that's a waste of calling that self-damager that early. You know, he gets his trigger back in the deck, but I don't know if that was worth it. Seems a bit questionable to me. Okay, here what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to ride the Kiriel, because my Shamsiel's not really doing much right now. So we're going to ride the Kiriel, and we're going to call something out, and then we're going to be able to still grab the Shamsiel from damage later on with our grade 1 no-CL. So, we're going to just grab this. I think I just call it here. Just like that. Oh, and the same card goes to the damage. Alright, very cool. And then I'm going to prepare for the next turn. Not going to put the heal back just yet. I'm just going to grab the Shamsiel for next turn in case I need it. So that way it's just a precautionary step to take care of that. Alright, so now we're going to be safely giving him that Limit Break. This was going to be a 26k column. This is really, really big. And now that column basically won't have a chance to hit anymore because he's going to go to 26. And so I'd need like double trigger to potentially hit. And there's a stand, so I kind of regret grabbing that, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to put him to 5 damage here. This is why I didn't want to call the heal yet, because I knew that I would be ahead of my opponent in damage. And so now he has 3 cards in hand and has to break my double intercept. Of course, oh, he's just going to give up, so he knows that he doesn't have enough aggression. And that can happen too, because, I mean, Angels can really set up consistent boards, can really set up a consistent game state of just, you know, being pretty tanky, and you don't really lose out on that too much. So it's quite good for that reason. Also, I apologize if you heard some kind of messenger pings. That's simply because I forgot to mute some things. But yeah, so that is going to be the video for Angels. So I really like this list. I guess I didn't comment on why I play 3 Kiriel, huh? Because I do have 4, of course, but I play 3 because I feel like the other cards are more important, like the combo extender that I have on the heel, and like Kiriel, like I said, she goes in on those fringe situations. And if you want to learn more about Angels, there's a really good streamer called Ainsley that you'll find streaming Zero sometimes on Twitch. So just go to the Vanguard Zero like category on Twitch, and when you see him streaming, he usually does play Angels. He got really high ranked last season with Angels as well. So you do want to follow him to learn more about Angels in Zero, because I learned a lot of things from him too. My build was quite different before I learned from him, so definitely recommend checking him out. I'll leave a link to this in the description to his Twitch channel actually, because I think it's really worth if you do watch his content, because he helped me to refine this build. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay tuned for more good content, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.